Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Extravaganza with yours truly, Captain Lou, and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. Mitch, welcome to December, baby. This is where they separate the superstars from the shoe clerks in the NFL right now. And hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I will tell you, I never heard that before, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
How about NFL football, huh? What is going on?
Boy,
Upsets
boy.
and teams flailing, kind of like the Eagles and the Bills and the Chiefs and the Lions and the it's nuts. The upsets every week. There's a huge upset. It's crazy.
Well, and for your sake, and well, actually for Detroit's too. I mean, I think the Cowboys are legit. This is a must-win for the Lions tomorrow night. They got to beat the Cowboys to get to 8-5. If Detroit goes to 7-6, I think they're in trouble. They won't make the playoffs.
Listen, I picked the Cowboys over the Eagles. The Cowboys are playing better.
Yeah.
The Bears are playing better.
Wow.
I can see the Bears going to the Super Bowl the way they're going.
Not me. They haven't beaten anybody.
Well, they haven't, but
I mean, they beat the Eagles. I take that back. They beat the Eagles. That's the only legit win they've had all year.
Yeah, but they're starting to play a lot better.
Yeah. Confidence is big. You're right. You get
on figuring it out.
Yep. The Lions were that way 2 years ago with a fourth place schedule, so I get it.
Yeah.
They
maybe not, but listen, they're making a case.
They are. I'm not sold totally on them yet. I want to see them beat the Packers at least once.
Yeah.
But your Eagles, we can at least put some points on the board. Your Eagles are scuffling right now, man.
It's bad. It's bad. They don't know I honestly think there's some inner strife. There's internal issues at the organization. They don't know what they're doing with the offense. They have really no clue. I mean, we sit back here as Eagles fans and say, give it this. I told you, I think I've told you this probably every week we've talked about it. Give it to Saquon on the outside. Little swing pass. Just do it. Throw the ball over the freaking middle.
Yeah.
You got receivers that are going to catch the ball. Just do it. Jalen, I'm telling you, Jalen is not looking confident. He doesn't look like a really good professional quarterback right now because you know what he's doing, Lou? He's focusing on just one receiver down the field. That's it. He's not looking anybody off. He's not looking one way and then throwing the other way to move the linebackers. He's not good. He's not good right now. And it's a big issue.
It's with the Lions, and every team's got injuries, but now this year it's their offense with Laporta out, and Amon-Ra St. Brown so far is not ruled out for tomorrow night, but he's going to be limited. And this whole fiasco with Frank Ragnow, that what a bad look for the Lions. I get that they found out that he had the hamstring, but they should have did the physical first before announcing it. I just think they got egg on their face. And listen, the Lions have to win tomorrow night because I don't see them going into LA to beat the Rams. They'll beat Pittsburgh, and I think they can beat Minnesota. So if they win tomorrow and win those two games, they'll be 10-6 going into Chicago. And then who knows? But if they are 7-6 after tomorrow, they're in a world of hurt because
it's going to be tough. The Eagles, listen, if the Cowboys win and they lose, which I think they're going to do in LA against the Chargers, I'm telling you, it's a possibility. Eagles fans don't want to hear it, but it's a possibility. They go free fall again.
You better hope that Trey Lance is quarterbacking on Monday night.
Yeah, really.
That's a possibility.
So let's switch over to hot stove a little bit. A few deals have been made. Dylan Cease going to the Blue Jays for 7 years. I guess he's getting $30 million, $210. Devin Williams to the Mets. I wish him luck in New York. He was the one that gave up the home run to Pete Alonso 2 years ago. So I'd say to the Mets, good luck with him. He hasn't been great. And then Ryan Helsley to the Orioles. We'll see what happens with him there. If he can fix himself, I think it may be good for him to get out of where he's been.
Mm-hmm.
So we're obviously in New York, the Mets now go to a smaller market in the Orioles. Really no expectations for that club. Probably again this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But a safer bet for him. A lot of talk on Schwarber and JT. I don't think Scooble's going to go anywhere. I think Tigers keep him. If they're smart, they keep him. It's like the Phillies. If you don't do anything with Schwarber, what are you going to do to make it up? Are you going to get Alonso?
Right.
What's the difference? Alonso's, he's a DH. He's a righty, but that would be okay. Are you going to spend as much money? I don't know. JT, 2 years. He wants 2 years. What we're hearing. That's great.
Yeah.
The Phillies cannot afford to let him go because there's nobody to take his place. No one.
Well, there is some bad blood between the Tigers and Scott Boras.
Oh, Scott Boras. Yeah.
And it goes back to when they had that run 10 years ago or so. Now it's been, and I don't see Scooble signing any extension. I don't think Detroit's going to sign him. I don't want him to trade him, but you know what? Let's see what's offered to him. If they get a king's ransom, then you might have to pull the trigger. But Detroit is so close. I think they got to get some sticks, you know. And I think if they can get another right-handed bat, I think that I don't want to trade him, but I don't see Detroit signing him. And we've talked about it 100 times.
Right. We
got to wait until they're going to go until we find out if there's going to be a lockout or a strike. Before I think Detroit signs him. They're not going to. He won't sign an extension because they're miles apart.
Yeah,
miles apart. And it's just.
But that's now. It's so funny because I was listening to the podcast with Ruben Navarro Jr., Todd Zalecki, and Jim. What's his last name? I forget. From Philly, and they were talking about the possibilities of where money comes in, and. Now Ruben's been there. He was posing. You ready for this? The Reds are in on Schwarber and Real Muto. Todd Zalecki and Jim Salisbury said that's not what the Reds do. They don't spend a lot of money in this type of situation. Ruben said if they could possibly take JT and Schwarber together, and I'm like. No, they're not.
No,
you can't get rid of JT, Ruben. You have no catcher behind you. What are you thinking? Schwarber, does he want to go back home to Ohio and Cincinnati? Maybe, but they're going to be the ones. They are absolutely 80% sure that Schwarber's going to sign during the winter meetings. So because he wants to get it over with. He wants to be settled and know where he's going next year for the next 5 whatever years. But I can't believe the Tigers would let him go.
What's funny is I watched PTI. We'll talk about this real quick, then we'll bring our guests in.
Yeah.
They were talking about his injury history, but you know what, Mitch, I think every pitcher now I think has had Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
And elbow surgery or whatever. And I that doesn't scare me, but like I said, Scott Boras is not one to hold a penny back. And so they're going to wait, and they're going to wait till there's no way they're going to sign an extension unless the old man's not alive anymore. Old man Illich, so he's not going to open up the checkbook. Chris Illich is not going to open up the checkbook like the old man did. And there's not that desperation to win a title. And so I don't see it happening, but hey, we got the righty warming up.
I know. We got these two guys here have written, I think it's over 75 books combined, baseball books. This is absolutely a Hall of Fame of guests right here in front of us, Lou. It's absolutely amazing. Peter, I wish your name should be changed to Peter Golenbock. Not just me. But you're right there. You're an O away from that. You should do it. I really think you should do it because what you've got.
You should have heard. You should have heard some of the other alternate names people give me.
No. So Lou, I've got two. Called Out But Safe, Baseball Umpire's Journey by Al Clark with Dan. Dan, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you much.
And Peter, I've got Doug Harvey. Look at that. 2 umpire books I have. How about that, huh?
That's awesome.
Well, make sure you talk about this one.
Oh, we're going to get that.
Okay,
I want to get to that one.
Very
Yeah,
good.
for sure. Dan also is an editor. He's also involved with the Internet Baseball Writers Association of America. He a weekend editor, Dan, of Here's the Pitch. Is that right?
Yes, I do Friday and Saturday papers.
Friday and Saturday.
Newsletters, actually. Yeah.
Love them. I get them in my inbox, and it's great baseball stuff. I love it. Gentlemen, I want to start again by asking you both. I was mulling this over, and when you guys came on, I was like, you know what? Let's have them both on together. This is going to be a fun conversation. So I hope it's okay with both of you.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, we know each other. Sure.
I figured you did. So let's talk about your both love for baseball, right? Peter, when did you start writing?
I was about 5 years old, something like that. I was. How was I writing? I was, among other things, the sports editor of the St. Luke's School Sentinel when I was in high school. I was the sports editor of the Daily Dartmouth when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in law school, I had a friend, Bobby Kennedy, who used to be the commissioner. Walter Kennedy used to be the commissioner and had a son, Bobby, who was the sports editor of the Stamford Advocate. And while I was in law school, I made a deal with Bobby. He gave me credentials so that I could go see the Yankees, the Mets, the Rangers, the Knicks, the Giants, and I would write on the weekends for him articles for free. So I did that.
And that gave you the experience.
It did. And then I went to work for the Bergen Record, where I was mostly an editor. And I went from there to Prentice Hall as a lawyer writer. And I worked there for 6 weeks and then talked the trade book editor into giving me a contract for Dynasty, which was my very first book.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Bergen Record, right? New Jersey.
Yes.
Dan, New Jersey. Know the Bergen Record. I'm from Essex County.
Okay.
So New Jerseyans, type. You're from Connecticut, Peter. I know that, right?
Yep.
Dan's still in New Jersey. Dan, Peter, I don't think I ever asked you before when you were on years ago. So who was your favorite team growing up?
Who was my favorite team? Every year of my young life, the New York Yankees won the pennant just about. I mean, my first book, Dynasty, was 16 years of 14 pennants and 9 world championships. I ran like Mickey Mantle. I threw like Mickey Mantle. I hit in the style of Mickey Mantle. I had my pinky off the edge of the bat the way Mickey did.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yes. I was born with the baseball gene.
Good.
When I was 10 years old, my uncle Justin took me to the 4th game of the 1956 World Series, which was the Yankees against the Brooklyn Dodgers. Jackie Robinson was his client, and he brought me down. He had to do some legal work for Jackie. And so after the game, the two of us went down and met with Jackie. So at age 10, I had this wonderful opportunity to stand with this, American giant.
Yes, absolutely. Dan, now your Twitter handle, I noticed the other day because I wasn't paying attention. Braves won.
And they did many times.
Oh, jeez. Boom, I set you up for that one. You see what I'm wearing here? See this?
Oh, I see it. You'll be a good third place team next year.
Pardon?
You'll be a good third place team next year.
Oh, here we go. Peter, I didn't think we're getting some smack talk with Dan. We're going to talk books. But wow, he's throwing it out early. What the heck, Dan?
It was your red hat.
Thank you.
Is he talking about the Atlanta Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, or is he talking about the Boston Braves? Which Braves team is he talking about here?
Whichever one works. They all won at least one world championship.
Yeah, and I see your hat. So obviously you started. So where did you and how did you become a Braves fan?
1957 World Series. Remember Lou Burdett pitched 2 shutouts against the Yankees, 2 complete game shutouts against the Yankees, including the last one on 2 days of rest because Warren Spahn was ill. And the Milwaukee Braves won 4-3 that year. Everybody I knew rooted for the Yankees. The Dodgers and Giants were leaving for the West Coast. So I figured the Braves were the best team. I stayed with them ever since.
That's funny you mentioned that. That was my dad's second favorite team. It's all he talked about were the Braves. He was so blue when they left.
Wow, that's crazy. And you're living in New Jersey as a baseball.
Try being a Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, so we got that out of the way. You've done, an amazing amount of books. And Peter, we'll get to the your recent baseball heaven in just a minute. And you've written about a lot of guys. You've interviewed a lot of people. Who was the favorite? Start with you, Dan. Who was your most favorite person to interview for a book?
Well, it's a tough question, but the usual answer is Cal Ripken. I'm going to say Steve Garvey. And the reason I'm saying Steve Garvey, who was nicknamed the Senator before he ran for Senator, by the way, he was a glad-hander. He was always smiling, always polite, terrific with the media. He's the only guy I've ever interviewed who thanked me for interviewing him. And I said at the end, Steve, why are you thanking me? He said, you did your homework. Most writers don't.
Interesting. That's pretty cool that he was able to say that. And to me, it would be like when Lou and I do our podcast, and Lou has other things he does. I always prepare. Here are my notes. I have to go back and look at what you've done and what you're doing. And I don't know anybody that should not prepare. That's very interesting that he said that. Peter, how about you? Of all the guys that you've interviewed for a book, who's been your favorite?
Well, the favorite of mine was Mickey Mantle. And I was in the middle of doing Dynasty, and I had called Mickey. The Yankees, Marty Appel was so fantastic to me. I was an absolute nobody, and I came in there with a contract from Prentice Hall to do this book on the Yankees. And Marty Appel gave me the names, telephone numbers, and addresses of all the former Yankees. You can only imagine how that makes one's life so much easier.
Yeah.
Because I've done books on the Cubs. I've done books on the Boston Red Sox where I had to do that all on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So at any rate, I knew where Mickey was. And so I called him on the phone, and we were supposed to meet in Dallas where he lived. And I got on the plane, flew to Dallas. I called his home, and his wife answered. And I said, hi, is Mickey there? And she said, no, I'm sorry. Mickey is in New York.
Oh.
So Mickey was at Yankee Stadium. So next morning, get on the plane, fly to New York, go to the stadium to interview Mickey. And I was shy about it because he had been my childhood hero. So I went to Elston Howard, who I had already interviewed. And I said, Ellie, would you do me a huge favor? Would you bring me over to Mickey? Now, we were in the clubhouse. This was Old Timers Day. Would you bring me over to Mickey and introduce me? So Elston, who was one of the most wonderful people on the face of this earth, took me over to Mickey. Mickey was wearing one of his Western outfits. Anyhow, he introduced me to him, and I said, Mr. Mantle, would you mind, talking to me? And Mickey looked me in the eye and he goes, no. And then he burst into laughter like you wouldn't believe. Wow. He was just, fooling around. And I interviewed him there in the clubhouse for about an hour and 15 minutes. And he told me things, and I'm not sure why, but he told me things that he had never, ever, 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 ever told anyone else. This was in 1974. He had retired in 1968. And he was telling me about his nightmares, that he would wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, where he was walking to Yankee Stadium and he couldn't find the door, which was really something.
Yeah.
And that told me so much about Mickey. I mean, I adored the guy. I wrote a novel called Seven, which would have been the book Mickey would have written had he lived and had he been open enough to do it. But he was a guy, as great as he was, he never understood why people loved him as much as they did. I mean, he was a guy, his father, from everything that I've been told, abused him. He was a hitter. You know, it's like, it was like, you're never, ever, ever good enough. And oddly enough, when Mickey came up from Kansas City to the Yankees, Casey Stengel was his manager. And Casey treated him the exact same way. That whatever he did, Casey thought that if he would, criticize him, that he would play better.
Right.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, one time, Casey was standing next to Mickey in the clubhouse, and some reporter came over and asked Casey, "Who's the best ball player who ever played for you?" And in front of Mickey, Casey said, "Joe DiMaggio," if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm positive to the day he died, Mickey Mantle never really had much self-confidence, which is amazing for a guy who hits, 560 some odd home runs, and who was I don't think there was another player in the history of this game who was beloved as much as Mickey Mantle was.
Such an
Babe Ruth was fantastic.
Right.
But he was not somebody you loved.
Right.
Barry Bonds was fabulous, but he was not somebody you loved. Mickey Mantle, for an entire generation of New Yorkers, and I venture to say other people I've talked to from around the country, loved him too.
Mm-hmm. It's true. He was an icon. All right, now we're going to flip the tables. Who was the hardest? What was the most difficult person that you've had to deal with? Curious to know who you had a hard time interviewing or talking with that or wouldn't give you an interview, perhaps.
Go ahead, Dan.
Go ahead, Dan.
My answer is Amos Otis. And people may not remember Amos Otis. He played for the Kansas City Royals at the time. This goes back to the 70s. And I was doing a feature article for a magazine about stolen bases. And he was one of the best base stealers. So I just wanted a few quotes. And I said, "Can I talk to you for a few minutes?" His response was, "The Royals don't pay me to talk." Well, Freddie Patek was standing right nearby, and he heard that. And he called me over and he said, "I can steal bases too. I'll be happy to talk to you." And Freddie saved the day for me.
Lovely, right? Just wow, this is crazy. How about you, Peter?
I've got three.
Oh, goody. A triple header.
Three. The worst in terms of talking was Jim Rice. I was with the St. Pete Pelicans of the Senior League in the second season, 1990, and we never made it to 91 because the league folded. But Jim Rice was on our team, and I was the color guy on the radio. Jack Weirs was the play-by-play guy. He had been with the Orioles, and I was the color guy. I had gotten a contract to write the Forever Boys, and they were, nice enough to let me be the color guy. I didn't get paid for it, but I certainly had the great enjoyment of doing that. And so I went to Jim Rice, to interview him for a pregame interview, and he just flat out refused to do it. He wouldn't do it. Sorry. Shocking. a guy who was that good, but he had no interest in talking to me or to anybody else. So that was the first one.
Okay.
The second one was Lenny Dykstra.
Not surprising.
I have to tell you, Lenny is a criminal. So we had a contract to do a book, and I say I must have written 96% of it. And there was a clause in our contract that said that Lenny Dykstra could fire me for whatever reason at any time. So to keep the money so that I didn't get paid, he fired me, which was, was unbelievable. But, knowing what I knew about Lenny wasn't totally surprising either.
Right.
And the New York Times fixed him good, because when the book originally came out, he didn't give me any credit for it. Besides not paying me what I was supposed to get, he didn't give me the credit either. But 1 week in the New York Times, we were on the bestseller list for 4 weeks. It said by Lenny Dykstra and Peter Golenbock. And I took that piece of paper and cut it out and put it on my wall. So officially, that was one of my 10 New York Times bestsellers, even though Lenny Dykstra didn't want my name on it.
You got him good there, buddy. Love it.
And the third one,
Yeah.
which was even worse, was a football player by the name of Paul Hornung.
Ooh.
Paul Hornung, who was the superstar from Notre Dame. He was the Green Bay Packers, all-world. He's in the Hall of Fame. We signed a contract to do a book together. I wrote the proposal for it, and the publisher offered us $250,000 for this book. And I was supposed to get a third, and he was supposed to get 2/3. So I got a call one day from my literary agent. Says, Hornung will give you $20,000. Take it or leave it.
I want to see your expression when you heard that.
Well, when you're a writer, you can't sue somebody like Paul Hornung. Your career is pretty much over. So there's really nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
So basically, I told him, stuff it. I wasn't going to do this book for $20,000, but he got some neighbor of his to do it with him. He got his $250,000. I'm sure he gave the guy the 20.
Yeah.
Hornung was a professional gambler. He was an addicted gambler, and he always needed money. And I suspect at the time that we signed this contract, he needed my money more than I did. And he ended up with it.
Big guy, yes. That's crazy. That's interesting. That's
Those
very
are my stories.
Love that. So Dan, what's anything? So let's talk about your most recent book.
The new baseball Bible came out in June this year.
Okay.
And that was a descendant of the baseball catalog dating way back to 1980. This time it's 500 pages, a lot of color pictures, beautiful color stock, and $30. It's a great Christmas gift, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or anything.
Yeah.
But it's got everything you wanted to know about baseball, but we're afraid to ask. There's even a picture of Shohei's dog in the book.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And when did is it June it came out, right?
Came out June 24th.
Okay. And it's all about, give me a little synopsis.
It's 25 chapters. It's just about everything you can think about baseball, everything you want to know. You name a topic, it's in the book. Chip Carey did the foreword of the book. Chip and I are good friends going way back. And I was very grateful to him for doing it. We had a good time together. And, it was fun to do the book. Fun to pick out all the pictures and see where they all go. I had hundreds of pictures.
That had to be, so I'm curious to know real quick, how long did that take you to do?
3 years.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not a quick one. Wow.
It's a very up-to-date book. There's so many changes in baseball that happened over the last 5 years. Just all the rules changes.
Yes.
So it really needed a thorough updating from the previous edition anyway.
Good. All right. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Peter,
Yes.
baseball heaven. Let's have it.
Well,
What
when I was
what was it really like in the major leagues? That's the subtitle.
it is. When I was in college, I received a book. Since I was a sports editor, they would send me books. And I received this book called The Glory of Their Times by Lawrence Ritter. And I sat and I read that book. It was, he went around the country for a couple of years with his son and his tape recorder, interviewing these ball players who had played with Babe Ruth, had played with Ty Cobb, who had played in the 19-teens and the 1920s and 1930s. And when you read what these people were saying, you really felt like you were back there with them. I mean, I always consider The Glory of Their Times to be the Bible of baseball. That if you are interested at all in the history of this game, you start by reading Larry Ritter's Glory of Their Times. And you know, Larry was one of my heroes. Roger Kahn was another hero. When I was writing Dynasty, my first book, Roger and I became friends. And we became very close. Jim Bouton was another one. He was in Dynasty, and we both lived in Englewood, and we became like brothers. We just had so much fun together for a long, long time. I miss these people just tremendously. But what I decided I was going to do when I wrote my baseball histories, that I was going to have the people talk the same way the people spoke in The Glory of Their Times by Larry Ritter. And hopefully, you know, more than, you know, what a particular game was like or what a season was like, though that's in it. The most important thing were the people. What were these people like?
Yeah.
How did they get along with each other? How did they get along with the manager? Who was the general manager? Who was the owner of the particular team? So I wrote a series of books. Dynasty was the first. Bums, which was an oral history of the Brooklyn Dodgers, was second. And then I wrote, I think Wrigleyville may have been next. Fenway was after that. Amazing, which was an oral history of the Mets, was after that. And I also wonderfully had an opportunity to do an oral history of the Dallas Cowboys football team. And the Cowboys were as wonderful as the Yankees had been. They too gave me addresses and telephone numbers of all their former players. And it was wonderful. But what I wanted to do in my last two books, I wanted to go back because I've done on tape 200, 250 interviews. So I thought first with Whispers of the Gods,
right,
which is this one, and then Baseball Heaven.
Yep,
that's that one.
Yeah,
that I would take some of my most interesting people who I had the opportunity to interview and put them in these books. And I must say, baseball fans have liked them. Happy about that.
As a huge baseball fan, I mean, there are, and you both know, Peter, I've had you on before. Dan, first time for you, I think. I love what you guys do. I mean, it's just, again, for me, and my bookshelf is full. I haven't read half or 3/4 of these yet, but I still got time.
You sure do.
I turned 70 in 3 weeks, so I've still got time. But it's just, I admire what work, Dan, 3 years to put a book out like that. Peter, the number of books that you guys have, both of you have put out, the time it takes, and obviously you do it because you love it, your passion. Obviously,
I've never worked a day in my life.
That's what I know, and Dan, I'm sure you haven't either. It's just one of those things that we just love to do. We love to read about, and whether it's umpires, which I love because that's a unique individual in the game of baseball.
There are only a handful of them who are worth having books written about them. Doug Harvey certainly was one of them.
Yeah. Al Clark and Dale and Dale Scott. I him too.
And I think there are a couple more too.
Ron Luciano.
That's it.
The Big Loosh. Yes, that's on my Hanukkah Christmas list.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But so it's amazing to and again, different perspectives of what the authors bring to us readers, which is just phenomenal. So I want to know now, hey, Dan, anything on the horizon?
Well, here's the pitch 2027, because here's the pitch 2026 came out on November 15th. It's brand new. It's a collection of the best writing that we had in the newsletter over the past year.
Oh, okay.
All different authors, different topics. Really well done book, I think.
All right, good. And that is out last month, you said.
November 15th it came out, so it's actually, last month.
Okay.
I'm holding it up here. I don't know if anybody can see it.
It's being blocked by your back. Oh wait, there it is. There it is.
Almost had it.
There it is. Almost.
Well, anyway, it's got a red cover.
Red cover. It's red, outline red, right? Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Amazon.com. Here's the pitch 2026.
Okay.
Jason Stark wrote the forward of that book.
I read
Very
that.
pleased to have Jason work with me. It was great.
That's awesome. Jason's a great guy.
Yes.
Peter, what's up for you?
Well, I'm in the process of twisting Sandy Alderson's arm. Sandy and I went to college together.
Okay.
And he was the brains behind Moneyball, not Billy Beane.
Okay.
Sandy Alderson hired Billy Beane, and Sandy Alderson spent 15 years working on that sort of not stratomatic. What do you call it?
APBA?
No. It's these are the people who love statistics.
Oh, the analytics.
Yeah, the analytics.
Okay.
Analytics. So I am working right now on twisting his arm for me to tell his story on how it all happened. And it's absolutely fascinating. When he started as the general manager of the Oakland A's, he had never been in baseball before. He was a friend of the owner's son-in-law at Harvard Law School together, and that's why he went to the A's as a lawyer. But he was a baseball guy. He had played Dartmouth a couple of years. He had played at Dartmouth for a couple of years, so he loved the game of baseball. And he was just the smartest guy on the planet. And eventually, in 2 years, they made him the general manager, even though he had never been in baseball before. And he discovered a guy. He was a tremendous reader. Mm-hmm. And he found a guy, remember Bill James?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Bill James, who started all of this. But there were other people, too. And there was another guy, I think his name was Ed Warner, if I remember correctly. He was another one who would write 30 pages on analytics. Why having a guy who walks is better than a guy who maybe with a higher batting average. Mm-hmm. That walks are important. That OPS, whatever the hell that is more important than a batting average. This is all the stuff that you saw in the movie Moneyball.
Right. Excuse me.
That Sandy invented.
Unbelievable.
I'm dying to tell his story.
Awesome.
He lives here with me in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
So I'm going to use all of my, argument, my ability to argue, even though he is himself a very fine lawyer. I will do what I can to do that.
I'm sure you'll get it out of him. That's for
I hope
sure. Yeah. All right. So I want to go next to a couple of contemporary things. Speaking, I didn't mean to say contemporary, but I did. Contemporary Era Committee Hall of Fame ballot this weekend is getting voted on. You got Bonds, Clemens, Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, Gary Sheffield, and Fernando. Dan, what are your thoughts? Who do you think gets in?
I always maintain a list of the top 10 guys who are not in Cooperstown but should be. Dale Murphy is number 1 on that list and has been ever since he fell off the writer's ballot. I just think, I don't know how he was overlooked, but I know that when he first came up for election, he was against Robin Young and George Brett and Nolan Ryan. And all 4 of them weren't going to get in. So, and then the writers never picked up on Dale Murphy, and they should have. He was number 1 in total bases in the 80s. He won 2 home run crowns, 2 RBI crowns, back-to-back MVPs, 5 Gold Gloves, had a 30-30 year. Plus, he had the character of Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Nothing not to like.
I think that's what they didn't like.
Yeah, maybe. He did have a
why would they not have put this guy in, for crying out loud?
He had a bad letdown because his knees gave out before his career was over. But a lot of guys petered out at the end. Willie Mays did. Mickey Mantle did. Warren Spahn did.
Well, Mickey Mantle played 22 years and Willie Mays played 23. So, they may have given out, but.
I'm just saying, a lot of guys, a lot of big stars are in the Hall of Fame let down. They just got, they stayed too long.
Okay, Peter, thoughts? What are you thinking?
Everyone.
Fernando?
Every one of them.
Fernando?
Really?
Every one of them. Bonds first. Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. It's disgusting. It's disgrace.
Disagree.
And Roger Clemens is second. And the other 2 guys, McGuire and Sosa, who saved baseball. They saved freaking baseball. There was a strike in '94. And their home run race was just, not one of those owners ever gave the money back.
Despite, and so you're okay.
Despite anything. Nonsense. Wow. You look at the numbers. You put the guys in for their numbers. There's no real proof except for Jose Canseco's book. And he belongs in too about this steroid business. And by the way, steroids was legal until 1991, by the way.
This is interesting stuff.
Thanks.
We disagree, Mitch. No to Bonds, no to Clemens, or no to that entire group. They're already in the Hall of Fame in the achievements area. They do not deserve a plaque. A plaque is a thing of honor. They do not deserve it. And the same for Pete Rose. No plaque for Pete.
See, I disagree on that one now. Even though he bet on baseball. He did it. Posthumously, I don't know. I mean, I would put him in.
Hey, he bet on baseball when he was a manager. You put him as a freaking player. He was the greatest player of his generation, for crying out loud.
Right.
You might as well, if you don't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, you might as well not have a Hall of Fame. It's stupid.
Shoeless Joe, yes. Pete, no.
Wow. I love this conversation.
He lied about it for 25 friggin' years. That is a cover-up. That's worse than the actual offense.
Wow. Love it. Here's the thing, guys. It's an interesting, controversial topic with the darn steroids, guys. Can we go back? I remember getting the Sports Illustrated and talking about the amphetamines, what were they called? What were they called?
Greenies.
Greenies.
The bennies, right? I mean,
yes, I can tell you all the players were on greenies.
You know what? They
right.
let Ferguson Jenkins in, and he's a convicted felon for dope. So to me, the Hall of Fame is hypocritical.
Let me tell you why every one of these people should be in the Hall of Fame. Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who became the commissioner of baseball in 1920 after the Black Sox scandal, was in baseball from 1920 to 1944. And during that time, he did everything he possibly could to keep the African-American players out of the major leagues. The guy was a stone-cold racist. And if you're going to put a jackass like that into the Hall of Fame, by God, these ball players belong in there too.
Well, you could say the same for Bud Selig, who looked the other way during all this steroid stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, that's
Well,
that's
I
a
mean,
good
you
point,
you can also consider the fact that he looked the other way for a couple of reasons. And that is, from everything I've understood, about 85% of the players were on steroids. So none of these owners wanted anything to happen to their players.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if you made steroids illegal and then these people got thrown out of baseball? Half these teams wouldn't even have existed.
Now,
Yeah,
this gambling thing that's coming up with Class A is going to be a big deal, a lot bigger than steroids.
yeah, you are
Well,
right.
this betting nonsense, this whole betting nonsense has become not only just in baseball, but now in college football
Yeah,
and in professional football.
it's
It's
big.
out of hand.
It's big.
It
It's
is
huge.
out of hand.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
nuts.
gosh! If you can bet on whether a player is going to swing and miss at a strike at his first pitch, how difficult is it to go to this guy and say, "Look, I'll give you $50,000 if you take the first pitch." And this is, I'm convinced some of this is going on.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got to do something to get rid of this nonsense that you
Well,
can
I remember
bet on stuff like that.
I remember when Mantle and Mays were greeters in Atlantic City and were suspended from baseball.
That's exactly what that was. Well, Mr. Ridiculous made that one.
Yeah, Bowie
was-
Kuhn. Yep.
Bowie
yeah.
Kuhn, who never made one correct decision in all the years that he was commissioner. And he's another one in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
which makes it a joke not to have the other guys in the Hall of Fame. Please.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, we're going to bring it back to the other contemporary issue, and it's not the potential lockout, not yet, but
It's coming.
yeah, I know. Dodgers and I separated here. Dodgers and Major League Baseball. I see how I put them separately.
You can't complain. What are you complaining about? They're doing everything they're allowed to do.
Oh, I know.
Hey, I live in St. Petersburg. How about being somebody who roots for the Tampa Bay Rays? How about that? They had a guy, Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
He was our left fielder. He was the most popular player the Tampa Bay Rays ever had. And in 2024, they had Randy Land in left field. The fans would jam left field and wear, I think they were yellow shirts with Randy Arozarena's name on them. They loved this guy so much. And they traded him to Seattle. It makes it hard to root for a team like that, where they take your favorite player for no reason whatsoever. Cheap bastards. I mean,
yeah.
What about the fans? What about caring about the fans?
Well, there is a way to solve this problem. Nobody should know what the other guy is making. Nobody. Do not announce salaries.
Well, you can blame the union for that.
I do blame the union, and I don't think Marvin Miller should be in Cooperstown either.
No.
Marvin Miller was the most important person of the last. Most important.
For the players, for the fans, he ruined the game.
He hasn't ruined the game. It's changed the game. So you give what's his name? The Dodger outfielder $700 million. Ohtani. Give Ohtani $700 million. Do you know when George Steinbrenner and his friends bought the New York Yankees in 1973, he paid $10 million for the Yankees and Yankee Stadium. That's how far we've changed.
Yeah, it's gone crazy. And there's that argument that Lou and I talk about all the time. Big market teams hit the Dodgers, small market teams, the Royals, the Tampa Bay Rays.
You are not going to see cap. That's not going to happen.
I don't think it is either.
What they should have done 20 years ago is made of floor.
Yeah.
So a team like the Rays 1 year spent, I think, $60 million for the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Yankees and the Brooklyn and the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Red Sox are spending $280 million.
So
well, here's what they should do.
Yeah.
Not a salary cap. Have a payroll cap. So if the Dodgers want to spend so much on one guy, pay the rest of the team $2.50. You know, have a payroll cap so a team cannot have a payroll larger than a certain number.
That's a salary cap. That
I
won't
think
go.
that's a cap.
That will not go. The players will not. And don't forget, the agents have a lot to do with this as well. The agent. You know, you got Scott Boras. You're not taking away 10 cents from that guy.
You will not.
By the way, Scott Boras should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's true.
He should be. It's true.
The floor. Let me ask you guys about the floor. We got about 8 minutes left. Would that be? I just came up with this again. Lou and I were talking about this. How would you determine the floor? Would it be an average of all 30 teams' payrolls? Divided, would it be then that average and that's the floor?
Well, you go to the commissioner's office and find somebody who knows something about AI or about IT or about mathematics in some way and have him come up with the number. You know, for a while, it seemed to me 100 million seemed to be a fair number when most of the teams were about that and 2 or 3 teams were under that. You know,
now,
I mean, the Rays had this star closer, Pete Fairbanks.
Yep.
Who he had 27 saves last year. He had a ratio of 1.04. He had won 5 games. What was his ERA? 2.38, something like that. He wanted $11 million. And the Rays aren't going to pay it. For a crummy $11 million, they're not paying it. They're letting him go.
Do they have money to spend, Peter?
There's a new owner, some guy from Jacksonville.
Okay.
Who spent $1.7 million to buy this team. I think the original owner paid something like $300 million. So he's had the team since 2007, I think, something like that. And so he's making a nice buck selling his team for $1.7 billion.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do the new guys have enough money to field the team? There's no way of knowing. The only team where you know what's going on is the Green Bay Packers because they're a public company.
Yeah, right.
Every other team's a private company. You don't have a clue as to either how much money they have, how much money they're making. From what I understood with the Rays, during the year of COVID, when nobody could go into the ballpark,
mm-hmm.
they still had it on television. And from what I understand is they still made money.
TV rights, I guess?
And nobody was in the ballpark.
TV rights, right? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, TV rights.
There is one Major League Baseball team in that situation. I'm wearing the hat. The Braves are publicly traded. Everybody knows their finances.
Yeah, I met Ted Turner.
When they signed Kyle Schwarber, remember I said that.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Maybe they'll go for Edwin Diaz instead, or both.
Diaz, that would be a smart move for Atlanta.
No, I think the Mets are keeping Diaz.
You think they're going to keep him?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Listen, winter meetings are coming up. This is going to be
Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso. He's gone.
I know.
He's gone.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be interesting. Just as much fun as it has been having you guys here. Lou, can you agree that this has been the lively? This was a good move on our part. Have them both here together.
Yes,
guys,
I love Peter. We don't agree on everything, but I do love him, and he's a great writer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I mean, you guys have been, this has been the liveliest conversation that we've ever had, and we've been doing this for a while. So
there was a red hat.
Did you say red hat?
Yeah, that's it.
It's been actually, guys, an honor for both of us. I love it. Lou, where's your Tiger hat, buddy?
Where's your Tampa Bay beanie?
We need to take a picture.
Wow, I don't have. Oh my gosh, it's upstairs.
Oh, darn it. That would have been a phenomenal picture.
Yeah.
Guys, listen. I can't thank you enough for coming on. Like I said, this was a blast. We could talk for like 2 hours. It's awesome.
I got to pack for the winter meetings. You going to be there, Peter?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be here in St. Petersburg playing softball.
So I real quickly, I got a hold of Peter, right? And then he goes, I got a game. I don't know if I can do this and blah, blah, blah. I said, what the hell is he doing? Is he playing? And I looked up. He's 79 years old. Holy crap, the guy's still playing ball? I love this. He goes, no, I manage. I said, that's a perfect thing for you. That's fine. That's perfect.
He's like Julio Franco.
Yeah.
There you go.
Guys, listen.
We won today. We had a big victory today.
I love the fact that you guys were here. Maybe Dan will do it again after the winter meetings. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Fun.
I appreciate you both for what you do, what you've done, and what you continue to do as a baseball book reader. I really appreciate it. And your newsletter, Dan, love it. Love to get it every time I see it in my inbox. I love it. So guys, happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
Same to you.
Enjoy. I will be lighting. I think next on my 17th podcast, it'll be the 4th night of Hanukkah. I'll be probably lighting a candle on the 4th night here, Lou. Just so you know, just let people know that I'll be celebrating Hanukkah.
Very nice.
And then
if they re-sign Harrison Bader, you will.
Yeah, that's all right.
Whoa, that's not going to happen. So we'll be doing that too. So guys, thanks so much.
Yep.
Safe and happy and enjoyable holidays to you both.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Peter, great seeing you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Take
guys. Lou, that was just phenomenal.
Yes, it was. That was a lot of fun.
Just so much fun having those. Who knew there would be some great conversation and a little feistiness on both sides. It was awesome.
All right.
I loved it.
All right.
Right?
Definitely.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Winter meetings are coming up. We will see what happens. I'm excited to see.
You think there's really going to be a lot of movement at winter meetings?
I do. I don't know. I only say that because I listened to some podcasts with some guys. Again, Ruben, Amaro, and Todd Zalecki, and Jim Salisbury, Phillies reporter. They think there is. They think it's going to be lively.
Kind of see, my vibes were that this was going to be pretty quiet, but maybe not. You know, I've listened to a couple of guys say they're just. A lot of people are hesitant because of what's coming up at the end of next year, and so who knows?
You know what? I'm gonna tweet out, and maybe Ruben will answer, because they didn't mention that on their podcast. They didn't have any notion of that in their conversations. And I should bring it up to them. I can.
I'm not going to let it damper me in 26 though, because
there's
still a great year of baseball coming up,
sure.
But that's going to be the elephant in the room all year.
Absolutely will.
And
maybe I'll.
They're not going to really do anything until after the season's over, and so
I'll message. I'll name drop Jason Stark and see what he thinks.
There you go.
Because I haven't done that yet.
There you go.
All right, Lou.
It's
been a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Being here. Love it.
All right. Well, thanks again to Dan and to Peter for coming on. That was amazing. And thanks to everybody else who's taken time out to watch us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. And without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you.
Thank you for those watching.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Bernstein, yours truly, Captain Lou, saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. So long, everybody. Have a great week. Go Eagles, go Lions.